Hi, I'm Subu, bringing crafting to you, and today I'm going to show you how to make this stationery box. So you've got a lovely lid, it opens up and you have got a notepad, you've got a pen and you have got a pocket for stamps. Also, you've got two pockets at the front, one's for smaller cards, the other one for tags, and then your cards going in the back. I've pushed all sorts in mine for the moment. So this is what we're going to make. Now I'm going to, because it is quite a lot of detail and a lot to do, I am going to be doing this in a few videos, not just one. Okay, so you need to start off with a piece of 12 by 12 card. This is, I think, petal pink, because I think it's either petal pink or blushing bride, but it goes quite nice with this DSP. So I wanted to use, could be blushing bride actually, but it goes nice with the DSP that I'm wanting to use. Okay, so get yourself a piece of 12 by 12 and you're going to score it at 3/4 of an inch. So score it at 3/4 of an inch, and then you're going to move it to 2 3/4. So we're going to move it this way to 2 3/4 and score. We're then going to rotate that 180, sorry, and again we're going to score it at 3/4 of an inch. Move it along to the 2 3/4 and score it again. We're then going to pick it up and just move it to 90 degrees and pop it in at 5 inches, and then we're going to score it. We're going to then pick it out, rotate it 180 degrees again, put it back in at the 5-inch mark, and then we are going to score that again. So we should have, don't know whether you can see, we've got score line that was the 3/4 of an inch, a score line that we did on the it came to the opposite side where we did the 2 3/4, then we rotated it and did the 3/4 of an inch, and then we pushed it to the 2 3/4, then rotated it so that we scored it at 5 inches, rotated it round and scored it at 5 inches. Now where the 5 inches are, these two shorter ones in the middle, I want you to rotate that so that it's that way round. So you can see my two 5-inch marks that I've put in my score line there. We're going to place it back in the trimmer, and you are not going to cut or score. You're going to place it at 1 3/4 of an inch and just put a little mark at the top. Okay, then you're going to move along and place it at 10 1/4 and mark it between the grooves. So that's where I've marked it. Look, can you see that little tiny mark there? Okay, right, now what we're going to do is we're going to turn it so that we have got our two score lines that are in the middle so that they are vertical, and we're going to line it up so that it is in the trimmer at 5 inches again. So it's in our trimmer at 5 inches. I've got those two score lines running down, and I'm going to put my blade back in, and I've got it at my 5 inches. I'm just going to make sure I've got it exactly on my 5 inches. I'm just going to cut from the top down to the first score line only. Okay, so put your blade at the top, make sure you're on that 5 inch and come down to that second score line only. And how you see you've done that is by the piece, the mark on the side. Hello Valerie, how are you? I'm doing the stationery box. I don't know whether you were one of the people that asked whether I'd got a video on this. So that mark on your trimmer comes down only as far as the second score mark. So take it back up, then lift up your blade, keeping it in that 5 inch position, taking your blade to the bottom, and this time you're going to move your blade up only as far as that second score line. So make sure that it's absolutely on that 5 inch. You've got that mark on the groove. I'm just making sure I've got it there on the groove, and I'm just bringing my blade up only as far as that second score line. So I don't want it anymore. It's only coming to this score line here. And I'm going to lift up my blade, move it out of the way. I'm now going to rotate it again 180 degrees, and I'm going to do exactly the same. So I'm going to put my blade right to the top. It's fell out, so I'm just putting it back in. Okay, right to the top. It's going to go at 5 inches, making sure you've got your score line in the groove where you scored it. Have your trimmer blade right at the top. You're going to then make sure you only come down as far as that second score line, and you're using the mark on the side of your trimmer to bring it down. So bring it down slowly. When you've hit that mark, lift it up. You're then going to slide your blade down to the bottom, click it back down, make sure you've still got it at your 5 inch mark, and then you're going to come up from the bottom only as far as your second score line, and then you're going to lift up. So now we've ended up with 2 flaps. Okay, now we're going to rotate it so that the flaps are sideways. We are then going to place it in at 9 1/4. So we're going to put it in so it's 9 1/4, and that should line up this score mark here. So we're going to put our blade so that it's going to be to take out this part here only. So I'm going to line up my blade. I'm not putting it down, I've got it up. I'm lining my blade up with where I can see this flap. Now that flap, I can see it's about at the 5 inch mark. So I then put my blade down very carefully, taking your blade down only to where you've cut. So I've got that 9 1/4, and I'm going to bring it down, and where the cut mark is, I've pulled that out now so I can see that that was the part. So I've only cut that out. So we're cutting that U shape out. Now that makes it beautiful and neat. Okay, I'm then turning it so I've got my cut out piece on my left hand side, and again I'm putting in at 9 1/4, lining it up absolutely at 9 1/4. Make sure your blade is where your flat bit is. I'm then gently lining that up. I've still got my blade up. I'm lining it up where that cut piece is, so using that side of my blade, and I'm then going to cut down to where the cut mark is, and I'm taking it very slowly, and that's to about the 7 inch mark. Sorry, I'm wobbling. Just making sure that I've got that. There we go. And I'm going to lift my blade up, and now I've got the 2 cut out pieces. Right, now where you have actually seen that mark that we put at the top, I'm going to put that back in my trimmer at the top there. I'm going to get that mark right where it is, so that's at 10 1/4. So my mark should be, sorry you can't see my mark should be exactly in my groove at 10 1/4. Making sure that my blade is right at the top, and I am just going to cut down this top piece off. So I'm just going to come down, cutting that top piece off. Don't go any further, push your blade back up to the top. I'm sorry, I've now got tickle. Okay, I've got a drink today, so that's good. Right. I am then going to rotate it round, put it back in at 10 1/4, and this time I will have the mark on the bottom. So I'm going to put that in at 10 1/4, bringing my blade all the way down to the bottom this time, and I'm going to make sure I've got it exactly on that 10 1/4, and I'm only this time going to come up as far as that bit. So you will end up with elongated T really. So you've got this top part with just that inch score on either side, those 2 scores, and then these scores here. Okay, we're going to place that on one side. I will just get rid of these scrap pieces. Oh dear, sorry. You then want a piece that is, swap my bit now. You want the lid piece. Now the lid is going to measure 6 3/8 by 10 7/8, and you are going to score that at 2 1/8 on all 4 sides. So that's 2 1/8, and we will score that, rotate it, 2 1/8, and score 2 1/8, and score, and 2 1/8, and score. So that is your lid part scored on all 4 sides, so that can be put on one side. Now we need a cover for the actual notepad. So you want a piece that is 8 1/4 by 3 1/2, and we're going to put it in on the long side, and you're going to score it at 4 inches. Rotate it 180 degrees and score it again at 4 inches, and that will just give you that little bit of a score line. Oh dear, I am suffering today. Right, now I'm just going to choke on the drink I've had as well. Now we need one big pocket. So this is the large pocket, and this measures 8 1/2 by 4. Oh dear, sorry. Okay, we're going to score this on only 3 sides. So you need to put this in your trimmer on the long side at 1 inch and score. Turn it to your short side 1 inch and then put it back, the final one, at 1 inch. So that is scored on just 3 sides, and that is your large pocket. You then will have a medium pocket. Now this is where things are different, the medium pocket. So what? Excuse me. I'm just going to have to blow my nose now, sorry. Right, so sorry about that. Let me just put my glasses back on. So this piece measures 5.5 by 2.5. You're going to score this, put it long ways, and you're going to score this at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. You're then going to rotate it so that you're on the short side and just score this at 1/2 inch. You're then going to rotate it and score it again at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. Okay, so that is the medium pocket. Then we've got a small pocket, and this measures 4 7/8 by 2.5. On the long side again, we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. 1 inch, yes, I could do with having a sweet. And then rotate it to the short side and just again only score at 1/2 inch. We're then going to rotate this and score at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. So then that's that finished. We are then going to do the stamp pocket. Now the stamp pocket measures 2 3/4 by 2 inch, and we're going to put it again on the long side but only score it at 1/8 of an inch. So that's just going to be 1/8 of an inch all the way round. So this is a very, very small score line, okay, because we don't need that very big. Okay, so that's scored. So they're all the pieces that we need for making the box itself, and then we need to cut some DSP. Okay, so I need to get my ruler. I've not got my ruler. I've changed I changed the actual sizes on, oopsie daisy, that's my teapot lid going in my cup. I changed the sizes on the last one I made because I did a gold layer on that, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back to actually how this one is. So I want a piece that measures 6 3/8. So I'm going to write this down this time. So 6 3/8. Have I got a 6 3/8? Yes, I have. Let's just double check then. That's by, is that by 4 7/8? Oh, it is. So I have got those two down. So I'm choosing this DSP that we had that was in Celebration, and I've got plenty of it left. I thought this was quite a nice one. It's not too directional, but I'm going to have it facing that way. So I'm going to measure this at 4 7/8. So 4 7/8. Come on, 4 7/8. And just going to put my blade back in. So this one's going to be 4 7/8. Come on, 4 7/8. There we go. So that's 4 7/8 by 6 3/8. So 6 3/8. I'm just going to turn that round. That's 6 3/8. Okay, so those two can go out of the way. So that will be for the front of my box. Yes, that measure's correct. Okay, so I want two of those pieces, so I'm going to do another one. So make sure I've got it exactly the way I want it. So it's 6 3/8 I'm doing this time. So 6 3/8 because I'm working the pattern. That's what I'm doing. So that's why I've changed to cut that side. So 6 3/8 by 4 7/8. So 4 7/8. There we go. 4 7/8. Okay. So those two pieces. So you wanted two of those pieces. They will be for the front and the back when you lift it up. So that will be for the front and the back. So I'll pop those to one side. Now I want a piece for the bottom, which will still be the 6 3/8, but this wants to be 1 7/8. So this wants to be 1 7/8. So I want one at those. So that's going to be for the bottom piece underneath. Right, now the side pieces, let's have a look. So we've done that. We want the side pieces, and how tall are they? So that will be the 4 7/8. Have I got 4 7/8 in this bit? Yeah, I have. So yeah, so I'm going to do 4 7/8. Oh, that's just nice there, 4 7/8. Let's cut that off. And then I will want a piece that is 5/8, I think that is. So I want a piece that's 5/8. So 4/8, 5/8. So that's going to be for my bit on the outside there. So that's my 5/8. Then my next piece along is going to be 1 7/8. So I want 1 7/8. I'm going to spin it around 1 7/8, trying to keep some of my pattern. Okay, so that's 1 7/8. So there's that, and there's that. Not sure that this is going to work, so I think I'll just do it anyhow. 1 7/8. Have I got this right? Let's have a look. No, I'm just trying to see. I don't think it's going to work for me. I'll just go ahead. And then I want the same. So what did I say? I definitely said 1 7/8, didn't I? So I'm going to spin it round 1 7/8. So I'll do 1 7/8. So 1 7/8. 1 7/8. Yeah. And then this one was just 5/8, wasn't it? 5/8. So let's do that. 5/8. Okay. Make sure I've got that 5/8 right. And then there, we've got those going there now. Okay. So just pop that to one side. And then the two bits for down the side, I'm wanting 7/8. So let's see if we've got a 7/8 left. So yeah, we've got a 7/8 left, so that works. So let's just pop that out of the way. 7/8. So don't forget, these, all that I've just cut out, are by 4 7/8, and this one was 7/8, and that is for the bit there that we're going to cut. Okay, so I want another one that size. Yeah, that works. So we want this to be 7/8 as well. Let's just come off the 7/8 mark. In fact, do it the other way because it's better doing it there. 7/8. That's it. So that's my 7/8. So I've got those two pieces as well. And then there's the little tiny bit here that is 3/8 by 1 7/8. So 3/8 by, so let's just do 3/8. I'm going to do 3/8, and then that was 1 7/8. So there's my 1 7/8. 1 7/8. 1 7/8. Okay, 1 7/8, and then I want another one that's 1 7/8. That does look a little bit on the wonky side. I don't know whether it's just, it does look a little bit wonky. I think it'll be all right. Okay, so those, so now I've got a piece for the back, those two pieces and those two pieces, and then I've got a piece for the front, and I've got those two pieces there and that one. So we'll have got all those for the outside. Okay, so just pop those on one side. I don't think those, so it would be better if I put those on so that we know where we are with those. So I'm going to get my bone folder out and the glue. So just move my paper out of the way for the moment and bring in my base. Okay, so let's just pop that trim. Ouch, I've trapped my finger in it now. Okay, so what we're going to do, if we have the larger part at the top, I'm going to bring the bottom part over and burnish. So the bottom part's coming over and burnished, and then I'm going to burnish the other ones in, turn it round, burnish the other ones in. Now I'm just going to go over any rough edges, flattening those down to where the trimmer picks those up. So I'm just checking round, just make sure. Now I'm going to bring the bottom part, just flatten that back down. I'm going to bring in the bottom part on the top. That's going to go in, and that is going to be burnished. Just have a look, see if you've got any rough edges. I'm then going to bring in the sides, so make sure they're straight, and then bring in the other one there, turn it around, bring in, burnish that, and the next one, burnish that. So what it should look like is you've got these parts that will come round, and this part here goes up the top, so that folds like that. So show you from this angle, so that those just come in and that comes up, and these come around it like that, and that is the base of your box. Okay, so we are going to just put these pieces on that I've got. Now if you've got directional paper, just have a look when you are putting this on, just put your box back up in its position to make sure that you are happy with the, yes, it is one of them that you have to watch several times to pick up the measurements. So I'm making sure that I'm happy with the way that paper looks, yes. So I'm going to glue this paper on here. So it's got a lovely pink stripe going in the middle. This is Rococo Rose, the colour in the middle. But I don't really want this because it's Blushing Bride or Petal Pink. It's one of the two. I'm not sure which. Okay, so that's going to go in there. Make sure that you've got even increments all the way round. Bring that down a bit. Okay. There we go. I'll put that. Now the bottom one, that's not really going to matter. You're not going to see that. So that can go any way round you want it to. So you don't need to put it on if you don't want to. I just do. I think I put it, well, I think I put it on the other one. Did I put it? Yes, I did. Just to finish it off. So again, just put that with equal increments all the way round. There we go. Then I'm going to turn my box round because I want to make sure that my paper is going to be the right way up. So I've turned that so that when that stands up, I'm happy with the direction it's going in. So I've turned that round to do that. So do that. Okay. There we go. So which way round do I want it? That way round. So again, making sure that I've got equal increments going all the way round. Okay, there we go. Right, now we've got our side panels. Now, I don't know whether I've appeared to have not done two lots of the side panels. I can only see one, so I might have to cut another one. I might have done that wrong, so I will concentrate on these bits. So just making sure that I'm happy. Let's see which way round I want them. I think that'll be fine. Yeah, I like that. So these two bits go on there. So it's such a lovely box. I've had a request for this box actually. I have made myself one, and my niece last year for her birthday I made her one, and when her mum saw it she really liked it, so I ended up making a version for her mum, my sister-in-law, at Christmas. And then my niece has just asked whether I would make one for her mother-in-law's birthday. So this is going to be a present for her mother-in-law. So just make sure you've got your equal increments. And then turn it back around. And I've got the two thin pieces for the outside, and then I appear to have only got one for the inside. So I'll just pop this. There we go. There we go. So, and then the thin bit on the edge. So there we go. That's going to go on the outside there. And then we'll just make sure what size this is. So I want, that's not going to fit that size. That is that size. Let's have a look at the pink flowers. They are going, yeah, that's the right way. So let me just do this one. So what size did I say that was? Was that one? Let me just measure that. Yeah, 1 7/8. I want 1 7/8. I should have done 2. I appear to have only done 1. Choose that way. Okay. And that is by 4 7/8. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, that will do that way. So put that. And this can go on the top. Okay, and then this piece here. Okay, and that one, have a look how that one, yeah, that one can go up that way. So, okay, that's it. So that will flap in there, and that will go like that. Okay, so we have got to do inside now. I am gonna look at the, yeah, we need to do. So I'm going to put your large pocket now. So your large pocket is the one that measures 8.5 by 4 inches. So I'm just going to burnish those crease marks. And then we're going to cut out this. Just let me double make sure. The one that I've done. So let's see how it went. So that actually goes in there and that goes there. So I don't think we have those. So I think we're safe to cut the corners out, I think. I don't think we have those. So now I'm just going to have to check again whether we need, I think we need to put the back piece in first. So now it's decision time of what paper I'm going to stick in there. So let's pull out this one. Now, should I go for navy blue? That might be the blushing bride. So we've got that one. We've got the navy blue that we could put inside. Yes, that's fine. I won't be much longer now because I will come back on tomorrow and do the next part. So I got to decide which colour's going to go inside. Do I do the small flowers inside. We'll go for that. Do I go navy inside? Decisions. I don't want to go for a big pattern inside. I don't think I want that colour inside. There is the black. Am I going to go that inside? Nice and clean on the outside. That would have looked nice on the outside as well. Do I want to go that? Let's have a look. Shall I go that? And then that maybe. Yes, I might go that. Right. So I want another piece for the inside that measures the same as the outside piece. So I need to put my blade back in. Oh, my blade is in. That's it. And we had across, it was 6 3/8. So I'm going to measure across 6 3/8. Make that up. 6 3/8. And that wanted to be by 4. What was it? 4 7/8. So we'll do that and just double check if that will fit there. Yes, it will. And I'll do that again. So that is 4 7/8, and this is for the bottom bit. So get the 4 7/8. Okay, that's it. And that will be for that part. And then we just need, what was the one in the middle? That would be 1 7/8. So we want 1 7/8. And there we go. 1 7/8. And that is for the piece there. So we're just going to glue those pieces down to start with. Take that. So there we go. There isn't really a directional part for this, so I'm not worried. That can just go on there with equal increments around, and then the bit in the middle. Okay, and see, there we go. That can go in there in the middle. There we go, and then we've got the last one. Okay, and that one's going to go on here. So that's the last panel now. Okay, so now we need to put the internal pocket in before we do any more to our pattern, apart from we can do these edges here. So I'm going to leave the pocket now, and panels I'm going to leave for our next stage. So thank you for watching me. I appreciate that you've dropped by today, and I'll be back with part 2 of the station box tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.